All right, so Mr. Sharp's not out there. We're gonna jump to Mr. Young, who's present. So thank you for being early. As you know, I'm Travis Smaddock and I'm the chair. I want to sincerely thank you for your application to the planning board. This is the first time you've heard of us.
It is.
Good. I think some of us are familiar with you. If you could introduce yourself and tell us about your background, experience, qualifications to hold office.
Good. Again, well, not again. Good morning. I'm still in the morning. My name's George Young. I currently live in Putnam County up in Bostwick. I'm married. My wife is the deputy county administrator for the county. We have 3 children who all attend school. In short, we've invested in Putnam County a long time ago. It's a place to live, where we're going to be, where we're going to make our future. My wife is from there, born and raised. My father-in-law, my business partner, my law partner, my biggest critic is also from Putnam County, a long, long time. And I say that in the most respectful way I can about my father-in-law. You know, I think it's important that you're invested and build relationships in the community where you work, especially when it comes to a position like this. We attend church, we work with Babe Ruth, we're involved in, my wife's on the hospital board. We've built relationships in the community. And even though I've only lived there for 16 years, I've made it my home. So I look at this as an opportunity to serve those that are in the community, in the county. As far as my legal background experience, I started out here at State Attorney's Office. I was an intern across the courtyard there while I was in law school with the State Attorney's Office. In fact, I tried my first case there in front of Judge Tinlin as a certified legal intern. After that, I spent almost all of my time in the Palatka courthouse, 18 months in county court. So that's where I cut my teeth on the courtroom, was in the county court. I won't bore you with all the things you do at the State Attorney's Office. I'm sure you all know I did felony prosecutions, even sat in on a couple of homicides, but I did that for 5 years. Back in 2013, I had the opportunity to go and work with my father-in-law at his firm. And then I learned that there was a whole bunch I didn't know. And a lot of that had to do with civil practice. We are a law firm that tailors to the community. At one point, when someone asked me what we did, I would tell them anything but bankruptcy and maritime law. And since that time, I found out that I actually do maritime law. Had a couple of cases involving ships, which was an interesting thing. So foreclosures to family law, criminal defense, pretty much anything that you would see in a county courtroom, I think we've handled, whether it's landlord-tenant, civil cases. So from an experience standpoint, I think I've seen most of what would go on in such a courtroom. Now, in addition to that, we've also represented governmental agencies. At one time, we represented Putnam County, couldn't do that anymore once my wife became the deputy county administrator, but we still maintain quite a few municipal clients. Town of Interlochen, Pomona Park, Palatka Gas Authority. And I personally did the canvassing board, which is something a county court judge has to usually winds up being the chairperson on. I've done that for the last 3 election cycles for Putnam County, been their attorney. So that's kind of where I'm at, what I've done legally. Now, prior to that, in my first career, as I call it, before it got cut short, I spent most of my time as an active duty Army officer, which I believe would help tremendously in a job like this. I've experienced what it means to lead people. I've experienced what it means to make hard decisions. One of the earliest lessons I learned as an Army officer was that once you're a commander, you've got a lot of responsibility that goes with that, including being able to take a soldier's pay, being able to take their time, being able to take their freedom, being able to take their rank. I learned early on that's an important thing. You have to consider everything. And you have to be fair, but you've got to make a tough decision. So I think a lot of that would translate over to performing the duties as a judge.
Yes, question, you certainly seem qualified. Why county court as opposed to circuit court? We have 2 vacancies at circuit court.
Now, that was one question I'm not ready for. I think my best answer to that is I want to serve in that particular county and serve the people in a way that I can do that at the community level. Now, I understand circuit court judge can do that, and I understand circuit court judge has a lot more responsibilities, but I would prefer to work where I've earned my living, where I know the people, where I've built the relationships in Putnam County.
What do you think are the most important qualities of a good judge?
For me, I think it comes down to respect. And I know that sounds like a very short answer, but what I mean by that is, first and foremost, I think you have to have respect for the position. If you have respect for the position, then you will work hard to uphold that position, to uphold yourself the way you should in the community, the way you should in the courtroom. You've got to have respect for the law. If you don't, you don't need to be there. And that's not interjecting what your personal beliefs are. That is understanding what the law is and applying it to the situations you have. In addition to that, I think you have to have respect for the people in the courtroom. There are a lot of people in that courtroom that work hard to make that courtroom work. Whether it's the bailiffs, the clerks, any of the court personnel. The other thing is you got to have respect for the attorneys that are in there. Just because you're wearing a robe doesn't mean you're the smartest lawyer in the room. You've got to have enough respect for what's brought before you to work hard to make sure you make the right decisions and make the right interpretations for the argument.
You have a judicial philosophy. So what is it?
The judicial philosophy. I believe interpreting the law the way it was written. I mean, that may sound simple, but I don't feel as the judges, at least at the county court position, it's not my obligation, if I'm in that position, to decide what the law is. There are folks that were elected to do that. They've crafted it and what the words have meaning. So if that's the law, then that's what we apply.
What do you think your biggest strength is as a candidate?
I've always been a leader. I can lead. I understand that a county court position is kind of like on the bottom part of the rung. It's not a circuit court, and I'd be the new person there. But it doesn't mean you don't lead in the community and you don't lead in your courtroom and that you don't set the example for those to come.
Does anybody have any questions?
How's the pay cut go over with?
Oh, yeah.
With your, how's the pay cut go over with your family?
We've talked about it. We're prepared for it. It's a reality, but we didn't make a lot of money in the military either. Of course, I wasn't married to my wife back then, so she probably may not understand that argument, but part of serving means that some places you got to make sacrifice. The good news is my wife has a great job. We've done well financially, so we are prepared for that.
Thank you.
So this is your opportunity to make a final statement before we deliberate.
As it was pointed out, I haven't been here before. This has been an interesting process. So I guess the final words I would have for you is thank you for the opportunity to be here, and I appreciate what you've done to consider my application.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.